Most people don't start investing their money until it's too late, and I'll tell you why. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you're definitely going to want to hear this. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 simple points that are going to change your whole mindset and perspective when it comes to investing, which will in turn change your life. So here's the first point. Spend less than you make and invest the difference. It seems so simple, right? I wish I knew this information when I was much younger. I'm 31 today. I wish I knew this at age 20. I would have built a considerable amount of wealth by now. And spending less than you make doesn't necessarily mean be frugal and pinch your pennies and don't spend any money. I'm going to be realistic because a lot of people will use examples where they talk about gross income and not net after tax income. So if your net after tax income is $40,000 a year, live on 30,000. If it's 100,000, maybe try to live on 80,000. That difference is what builds wealth. A lot of people will say, well, you know what? I need all my money to even just survive. Well, that means that you either live in a place that you can't afford to live in, which means you either got to move, or 2, you got to make more money. It's one or the other. And here's what happens if you don't do it. If you don't move or if you don't make more money. You don't end up saving for retirement. You end up working for your entire life. Do you want to do that? Think about it. Think about the life that you want to live. It doesn't have to be when you're 60. It could be when you're 45 or 50 if you do things correctly. At a certain point, if you do things correctly and build wealth the right way and invest the right way, every day can become Saturday. You can wake up, your bills are paid because you have millions in your investment accounts. You can pull out $40,000 or $50,000 a year from your investment account, and that will cover all your expenses. You can travel the world, you can do whatever you want, and you're not worried about anything at that point. You can take care of what you need to take care of without having to report to your job. The first principle is very simple. Spend less than you make and invest the difference. With this statement, I think there's 2 camps, right? There's the people that spending less than they make, it just comes easy to them. Then there's the other people that struggle to do that, but they are open to investing, and investing is something that they're very keen on doing. Investing and personal finance is 90% behavior, 10% knowledge. You may already spend less than you make, but you don't invest. In that case, this video is going to change that for you. If you don't spend less than you make and you invest, well, spending less than you make will make a huge difference in how much you have in your investment portfolio. That can be the difference between financial independence and working forever. I'll get to that in a little bit. Even if your take-home pay is $2,500, save $500. Invest $500 a month. If you can do this consistently, you will build enormous amounts of wealth. The more you're capable of investing, the better you'll do. I think what happens nowadays is that a lot of people, first of all, you don't know what to do with your money. You think it's too risky, and you go and spend that money on stuff, and you live for the moment because you're not really understanding what the whole point of investing is. And I'm going to get to that. The second point is a lot less straightforward, but I'm going to summarize it. Don't worry so much about what you're investing in as long as it's something that is diversified or a blue chip stock or company that you understand. And you know and you're confident that that company is not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's going to be around for a long time. The guy that inspired this video, he mentioned Walmart stock, for example. Maybe you're in Canada, maybe it could be TD Bank stock. If you don't know where to start in terms of this diversification, any fund that holds the S&P 500 is a good place to start, and where you don't have to do much thinking. A lot of people are going to spend so much time thinking about, oh, well, I don't know where to put my money. I don't know what broker or financial advisor to go to. Then they're not going to invest. They're going to overanalyze the whole investment situation. They're not going to invest. That is far worse than putting your money into something that only gets you a 2% return a year or 3% return a year, because that money consistently compounded over your lifetime can potentially give you financial independence at some point where you do not have to work anymore. Most people miss the boat on this completely. Like, that's why I'm telling you this, because most people may end up in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they never invested. I'm not trying to be biased here, but all they did, they bought a house and they haven't paid it down. They still have that mortgage payment forever. And in a lot of cases, it's too late because now they don't have the cash flow to consistently put away money and invest. When you're young, you have that cash flow, and make sure that you pay yourself first. Before you pay all your bills, figure out even a small amount. If you can put that towards investing towards your future, that could potentially allow you to not have to worry about your job and give you time and freedom to do whatever you love to do whenever you want to do it down the road. And of course, there's nobody that is against that. Who would not want to do that? Who would not be like, sign me up? The second point, to summarize, assuming you're putting your money into something that is blue chip, something that is a reputable company or a stock, or a diversified index fund, it doesn't matter where you put your money as long as you start. And the alternate scenario is where you don't do anything with your money and inflation continues to eat away at the buying power of your dollar. You may think you have a lot of money today and it can buy you something and it's not going anywhere, but when cost of living rises in the future, you're going to regret not investing. The key thing is to start. If you don't know where to start, I have a bunch of videos on my channel. You can feel free to send me an email. You can DM me on Instagram, comment on this video. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. I can drop any sort of resources, links to other videos you can watch, links to my own videos you can watch that'll help you understand. If you have a specific topic you want me to make a video on, let me know. I'll make that video. I just don't want anyone to be left behind and not invest and they're like, well, why didn't I do this? The video that inspired me to make this video, the gentleman, he had received comments from two different individuals. The first individual said that they just retired at 61 and every day feels like Saturday and they can't believe it. They were investing consistently throughout their life. They don't have to report to their job. They can do whatever they want for the rest of their life from 61 to whenever. In the United States, you have Social Security. Here in Canada, we have old age security, same thing. But that's not going to cover your lifestyle in the future. You definitely need to have your own retirement as well. And a lot of people have retirement through their employers. That is a blessing in disguise. If you don't, you especially need to follow this. Even if you do, you should follow this because it'll give you financial independence, meaning you can't just afford to live, you can do whatever you want. And that's what you should aspire to have. And you don't need to be making $250,000 a year to be able to do this. Even as little as you can, as long as you consistently invest as much as you possibly can and live on less than you make throughout your life, you can be financially independent at some point. The first guy, he invested throughout his life. He retired early at 61 instead of 65. So that's 4 years you can do whatever you want ahead of the person that's waiting till 65 to retire. And I'm going to get to my thoughts on that situation at the next point. That person did everything correctly. They put away money, they invested consistently throughout their life, and they retired early. They probably didn't make a high income because they're only retiring at 61. If you make a high income, there's no reason why you shouldn't be retiring at 45 at the latest. There's another scenario where there's this other individual who wrote in as a comment to the gentleman that made the video that inspired me. He wrote in and said something along the lines of this: I wish I knew this earlier. I lived a fast life with the cars, the women, did whatever I wanted. I bought a boat. I didn't save any money. I was self-employed for the majority of my life. I didn't put any money away. And now I don't get to retire till I pass away. And now I'm working for the rest of my life. And I really wish I put some money away and invested. You can see the contrast between person A and person B. And don't be person B is why I'm making this video. And it's such an important thing. Like right now, when you're young, you're not really thinking about retirement. You don't really care because it's so far away. And even for me, I'm 31. It's so far away from me too. So point number 2 is don't be too concerned and overwhelmed by where you should invest your money. Just invest it. What you shouldn't do is not invest your money. And I'm going to follow that up by saying, do some research, just some basic research on where you should invest your money as a Canadian or as an American or wherever you are in the world. Do not hesitate to leave a comment. If you're lost, if you're confused, send me an email. I definitely want to at least guide you in the right direction. The third point and the most important point, which is why you probably are not investing your money today or are very rarely dabbling in investing. And this is because the way that investing is portrayed. What do I mean by that? A lot of the times in literature, in YouTube videos, in educational videos, in financial advisors at the bank, anywhere, any sort of person you come into contact with about investing, they'll tell you, hey, you should invest for retirement. When you're young, I'm 31, there's definitely people that are younger than me that are just like, well, why would I do that? And I think this myself. Why would I bother investing for retirement? That's not a sexy thing. You're thinking about yourself in like a rocking chair or with a cane. You're old. You're 65 years old. And right now you're half that age and you haven't you're not going to be able to enjoy your life, blah, blah, blah. Remember, the video that inspired this was an 80-year-old man who can now do whatever he wants, and he does everything that he did when he was younger, pretty much. The same exact thing, and now he has financial freedom. The whole concept of investing is catered to you as retirement. Invest for retirement. So no one's going to do it because majority of people are not going to ever do this because of the way that it's packaged. The concept of investing. Don't think of investing as you're investing for retirement. Think of investing as you're investing towards financial independence. What is financial independence? Financial independence means you can do whatever you want. Your bills are covered. Your investment account has sufficient funds for you to withdraw to cover your expenses. Meaning you don't have to show up to your job anymore. I think everyone should aspire to do this. It doesn't matter if you're making a high income, if you're ambitious, if you're not ambitious. You should aspire to do this because life is about doing the things that you love to do and enjoy. Spending time with the people you want to spend time with whenever you want without having to be like, oh, well, I got to work in the morning, or I can't travel because I have this deadline at work or something. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people settle for the vacation that you have through your job. There's more. You could have way more freedom than that. All it takes is starting early enough and putting away enough money. If you start later, you have to put away more money. But if you start earlier, you can put away less money and achieve the same thing. Investing for retirement is just not a sexy thing for younger people. And I get it because I believe the same thing, genuinely. When you flip the script and tell yourself you're investing for financial independence, meaning you can travel whenever you want, every single day is a Saturday. Think about that. You probably think it's impossible. Oh, I gotta be like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. No. You can work your regular job and still achieve this at some point in your life. You can vacation today, you can do all the things you love today, but just be mindful of, I need to put away money to invest X amount of dollars so I can have X millions at this age. You can do the math, you can reverse engineer it. I'll make a separate video about that. I want to have X millions of dollars at this age so that I can be financially free, financially independent. This isn't as widespread of a topic out there because if it was, then there would be no workforce at a certain point. Putting away $200 a month towards potentially having financial independence in the future, which you will at some level, you will have more money than you would if you didn't do anything with that money. The reason that you're not putting that money towards investing today is because, first of all, you probably think you're going to lose your money right away. That's fair because that's what's out there in the media and the headlines and the stories that you hear. You can just do a little bit of research. As much work that you do at your job, if you do even a fraction, 1% of that work to just do a Google search and get yourself a little bit educated, you will understand that you can really enjoy life and have the money to fund your life. Obviously not tomorrow. This video is for the masses. This is not about if you have a nice job, if you're in sales, if you're working a 9 to 5, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner. It doesn't matter. If you are more ambitious like I am and more hustle driven, this video is also for you. Because you should definitely be able to live on less than you make and invest the difference in the right things so that you can retire. If you make a very, very high income, let's just say you make $250 after tax. I don't know why you would even find my video, but maybe one day, maybe you're not there right now, but maybe one day you get there. Hopefully I can tell you before you get there, hey, spend less than you make, invest the difference into an S&P 500 index ETF or a blue chip stock, right? Like Apple or Amazon or something like that, right? Not financial advice, but just the general stuff, right? Like you understand it, you know it's not going anywhere, you know it's going to grow. You invest the difference there. If your income is that high, you can retire in 5 to 7 to 10 years. It depends on the lifestyle that you want to live though, obviously. By retire, once again, I don't mean you're in a rocking chair. I mean you have complete freedom and autonomy of your time so that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want it, and every day feels like a Saturday. So this video was inspired by Hickok45, a YouTube channel where this 80-year-old man was talking about investing and personal finance. The title of the video was called Don't Be Broke. And I clicked on it and I knew that the information he was putting out there, very simply, it could help a lot of people. Just because I found that video doesn't mean other people are going to find that video or similar videos. That is why I'm making this video so that I can also spread that message along to you. I hope this video made sense. Just wanted to get this information information out there. Once again, summarizing the 3 points that you need to know, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s. Number one, spend less than you make. Number two, don't be too concerned with overanalyzing, oh, should I put my money in this fund or that fund or this mutual fund or this index fund or this blue chip stock or that blue chip stock. Just start. Just make sure you don't make the big mistake of not investing at all, because in that situation, once again, inflation will eat up your money and your buying power, and your money will be worth less and less and less and less and less, and you'll be constantly complaining about the cost of living going up and gas prices and groceries and all this stuff and cost of living and shelter and all that stuff for your whole life. And that's stress that you could actually avoid if you actually are financially responsible today. And the last point, which I just talked about, don't think of investing as saving for retirement. Think of investing as creating a better life for yourself where you can do whatever you want without having to worry about working if you don't want to work. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.